Bearded tits are another special bird we get here in East Yorkshire and North Lincolnshire, which can be more easily seen in autumn than at other times of the year. As you can see, the male is quite a striking bird with its predominantly orangey-brown plumage, long tail, blue-grey head and the black mustachios near their bill, which have had them labelled rather misleadingly as bearded tits. In fact, it's rather a moustache than a beard, and the birds aren't actually closely related to the rest of the tits you get in the UK. Instead, they are cousins of the babblers, which are found mainly in Africa, and the parrotbills of Asia. There have been calls to have them renamed bearded reedlings, bearded parrotbills, or even mustachioed reedlings. The females aren't as brightly coloured as the males, and naturally, of course, they lack the moustaches. The youngsters look more like the females, but if you spot some black round the eyes, then you know you've got a youngster rather than a female. The reason they become easier to see in the autumn is because of cooling temperatures. Their summer diet of insects becomes harder to find, and they could follow the example of the swallow and migrate south in search of insect food, but they have a different strategy with considerably fewer air miles. They change to a seed diet, but to achieve this calls for what may seem a rather extreme measure. They look for tiny pieces of gravel which they swallow, often in groups of 20 birds at a time. This grit lodges in the bird's gizzard, which permits them to grind down the seeds to make them palatable. It is at these gatherings to swallow grit that we can gain good views of this charismatic species. You just have to wait patiently a good distance away and the birds will come down en masse to swallow tiny pieces of gravel. It is worth getting accustomed to their ping ping call, as they often make this sound before launching themselves over the reeds looking like miniature pheasants. Sometimes groups of bearded tits will fly higher into the air and leave their resident reed bed looking for a new reed bed further afield. These eruptions, as they are called, may lead to new reed beds being colonised. We have seen bearded tits at Bruffhaven, Welton Water and Top Hill Low, and they appear to have bred at North Cave wetlands, although they are still not as easy to see there as at Barton, Blacktoft Sands or South Ferriby. One thing my groups have noticed is that they must be early risers, because they are much harder to see in the afternoons than they are in the mornings. So if you really want a close encounter, a morning visit is recommended. If you want more of these videos, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more notifications. Thank you.